Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site. There's an archive post thingy there. And for extra support, I got everything on Patreon also. And any kind of updates or anything, like last minute not programmed, I will do it on the Twitter X thing. And usually I when I stream, I usually share the stream, so if you're curious about that, just give me a follow there. Later today we don't have any kind of gameplay series. It will be restarted or started again on Monday with Jedi Fallen Order, which is going to be the last episode. I wrapped up the game in the next episode, and then afterwards got Mutiny Zero Eden. We still have some ways to go there. So might as well keep with that series also. Again, they are a little bit more shorter episodes. I'm trying to get around one area per episode. So there's usually always a fight there, and sometimes I manage to go about and also do some upgrades on the Eden. No, not Eden. Sorry, the Ark. Yeah, in terms of streaming, again, cannot commit to a fixed schedule. When I can, and I have at least a couple of hours to do something, I just jump in and start the stream. Yesterday I did one. We start off with in Khalid. We still did manage to get around and do some stuff there. From the top of my head, we managed to let Alexander follow his journey until the festival in Redmane Castle, and we covered a big chunk. We did one minor tree and one catacomb also, if not mistaken. I think that's what we did, and then we just covered the entire area, just cleansing up enemies here and there. Oh, and I did find the gold scarab, I think, talisman. So now we are yielding more runes. I think it's 20% off. It doesn't specify on the description itself, but I'm assuming around 20% more runes. So it's good for us to at least level up on a good scale there. But yeah, basically this is what I got in terms of news channels. Tomorrow again, it's my day off. I don't use gaming news. I don't do the gaming news stuff, mainly because it's there is no news to cover there on Sunday usually. And yeah, just quick reminder. Sorry, I got my completed gameplay series. Probably when I start wrapping up Jedi Survivor, I might need to distinguish between 4K gameplay series and 1080p, because I started 4K with Void Bastards, then Evil Within, XCOM 2 and Prey. They are all 4K, but these older ones are 1080p. As you can see, I still get some of them around here. But yeah, when the time comes, I will let you know. Regarding streaming, Death Stranding, again, when I wrap up Elden Ring, especially hopefully before the Shadow of the Tree comes, I should be able to get around almost by the end of the game. And when I reach that part there, if I have plenty of time, I will do some Death Stranding, and I really want to continue to play out that game there. But yeah, let's go to the news. Similarly, NVIDIA is preparing a new RTX in the 40 series, new variants. Again, usually it's because of the yields. When they are not that good, usually they take advantage of higher class chips, and they disable some cores to make the most equivalent to the lower end. In this case, if not mistaken, for example, on the 4070, I think usually it's a 104 die, and they will be start using 103 die with disabled cores, so to approximate the class of the 70 class in terms of CUDA cores available. And again, it will have the memory, the normal memory setup that those chips have. But again, I never know for sure if they don't take advantage of, for example, in higher chips that can handle a little bit more memory bit bus. I don't think they take advantage of that. So it's they use the same kind of memory setup for that class. The only thing that it's integrated new is the yields from the class above. In this case, the 80 series, which is the 104, the 103. Sorry, they use it for the what we usually see as the 104 there. Yeah, I assume this is going to be usually this is what happens. There will be like silent launches because they are not going to be new models. There's going to be classified as the same model but with a different GPU chip itself. We might get some of this throughout the second semester of the year. This year, I think. But then again, you will not see a lot of stuff. You're just going to see people that follow up on these kind of things. You will see on the news there, but you don't see anything. I don't think you will see anything official from NVIDIA's part. But yeah, at least supposedly they can have like better performance, like 1% performance maybe because of the good cores. I don't know, but usually it's kind of in the same vein. So there is no like. No need to, if you wanted to buy one of these GPUs, there is no need for you to wait for this kind of lower yields above class chips there to come out. Regarding AMD, they seem to be preparing new 8000 from Hawkpoint, but this time without the RDNA iGPU. So this is like the APU stuff, but basically without the iGPU. At least that's my perception of this series. Again, this is supposedly seems very specific to China market because this presentation was done in China specifically. Again, it's the 8700F and the 8800F also. I think it's in line with the previous generations what they did. Again, has to do with the yield, so they basically don't have like enough compute units for the graphic parts to justify to put it on the market. So they basically disable that and just launch like a new product, which is usually normal. There is a doubt in terms of speculation what this 8400F will be, because it's a numbering between 8500 and 8300, which are the current models there. So the speculation it's going to be because this new variant like the 8500 has like 2 Zen C and 4 C Zen 2 plus, something like that. It's a very weird Zen 4 and Zen 4 C, and then got the RDNA free. So Zen I made a mistake there. So supposedly it's 2 Zen 4 and 4 Zen C. At least that's my perception there regarding this middle ground here. And supposedly 8700F is just the graphics disabled there. But yeah, it's something that we might see. Usually, I'm not even sure if it has any kind of applicability. For example, this supposedly it's desktop APU stuff. Maybe it's like lower entry point. Maybe I don't know how they are going to promote this and to launch this as I don't think it's going to be as a gaming stuff, but it's like a normal kind of desktop situation there, where you have to have a GPU to pair with this thing. So it's not going to be decent for like mini PCs or something like that. I think it's going to be more for the DIY market there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see more information, more concrete information, because again, I don't know, with this all new cell phone, with all of these kind of leaks and such, with the new cell phone technology, with high-end quality cameras, you always get this kind of blurry stuff in terms of pictures. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's like the UFO stuff. Every time with all this new technology, high-end cameras, always a blurry image. It's like Bigfoot, always a blurry image or blurry footage. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, from the industry, this is what I got my attention for today. Gaming news. Supposedly, Supposedly no. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, sorry, the sequel from Horizon Dawn, has come out yesterday, I think. It was basically the same day that Dragon's Dogma came, or the day after, I don't remember. Supposedly it's another solid PC platform, PC port from Nix's. It got the usual stuff, ultra wide support, dynamic range implementations, all that jazz. The only thing that it seems to be, in terms of just considering a solid one, I think it has to do with some. It's not even issues. They didn't introduce more visual enhancements compared with the console version. This has to do a little bit with anti-sonic filtering and SSA and DLAA stuff. Yeah, it doesn't mean that the game is not good. The port is not good. It doesn't have like usually the more richer feature set in terms of like shader stuff and ambient occlusion stuff. It doesn't have ray tracing. They supposedly they in introducing something like that, but kind of makes sense that the fact that given that it's a very huge open world with a lot of vegetation and trying to implement ray tracing properly in a game like this, it will be very heavy and it will not compensate a lot. The introduction of like I'm not sure if it's ray tracing global illumination kind of a thing there, what they're trying to put there, but then they scrap from the project. But yeah, in this case, in WCCF Tech, the guy that wrote the article with this 4090 GPU, which is a very extreme high-end case, he went for a combination of DLSS with frame generation and deep learning and TLIsing to achieve maximal visual fidelity while keeping an average of 70 frames per second and consistent frame times at 4K with max settings. So this is a very specific high-end configuration, even with frame generation. Again, I assume then with even this deep learning, I think it's a little bit heavy on the workload of the GPU. Again, I assume you can reach at least 60, 4K 60 if you juggle up and don't activate this kind of a thing there that are more heavy, and they are, I think they are newer newer technologies from NVIDIA. But yeah, when I pick up the game one of these days, I will see how it goes regarding my specific case. But yeah, basically this is it. It's a solid one. No issues to point out, except that it's basically in terms of quality, detail there. It's on par in terms of technologies of what you can do with ambient occlusion and all that jazz with shadow stuff. It's on par with the PS5. And then we got the thing that happened with that is happening with Dragon's Dogma 2. I only managed to check this yesterday. I started seeing some videos on my feed regarding the DLC stuff, the paid DLC stuff there. Yeah, Capcom, they are doing good in terms of the quality of the games itself. Usually, they are pretty good, but they insist on those little DLCs, from cosmetic stuff. If they were like a bundle of them, like a couple of bucks, it can just pass through under the radar to a certain degree. But now they are, it's like an armor set or something like that, or a cosmetic set for one character. It's like $3-4. You're paying $70 now for a game. This doesn't justify. And in the case of Dragon's Dogma 2, it's more about some the items that are as a DLC there. The fact that they are here, which is Art of Metamorphosis, Rift Incense, Porty Crystals, Wakestone, Rift Crystals, Makeshift Gale Key, and Smoke Pig, and whatever. All of these little things, there are things that you can pick up while you're playing. in terms of even having a huge advantage in early game if you want to buy something like this. Even that doesn't make sense the way the game is kind of balanced towards. It doesn't make any sense. It also compounds on the issue of not only it's not even from the performance issues that Dragon's Dogma 2 has in terms of the CPU usage, mainly because of the NPCs and the behavior of those NPCs in the environment. Especially when you have a lot of them at the same time, the game struggles to get along there. Supposedly, again, with their statement, they're saying they're investigating that and trying to limit the effect of the stuttering and the CPU performance being bound to that. Yeah, this is not a good thing. I never like this kind of DLC. Usually, I'm not in favor. I can kind of excuse like playable DLC, like parts of the game that you can play. I can try to justify if they are at a good value there, and if it adds to the game itself. If it doesn't feel like it was cut out from the game just to be sold as part of some extra thing there, I can try to justify at least internally to myself if it is that good. But yeah, if you pay for a full game, there is no need for this because it will compound on the fact that, for example, you will arrange an excuse, or to a certain degree, there is the save system thing there also that I saw here. The features, and now they're looking for a Steam version of the game that allows players that are already playing to restart the game. Yeah, there is only basically one save slot, and when you start, you can only load like the last save, which is the autosave, or the last campfire save or something like that. And if you made some mistake there and you are kind of stuck there, you cannot even restart the game. You have to do you can restart, but you have to go about it, get disable cloud, Steam cloud stuff. You have to go to local files where the save is locally saved, and then you got to delete, and then you can restart a new game. It's a lot of stuff that it's not good. Plus the fact that you have that performance issues, plus the fact that some game mechanics might feel to some people a little bit unbalanced, and then you put this kind of DLC to supposedly help you out in the early games, especially with fast travel and I don't know regarding restore that to the live wake stones and all of this stuff here. You got even this, the art of metaphors, so you can I don't even sure if it is to respect the character. I think it's just to change the appearance there. There's something that you can pick up on game, and you get some of them in a complete run from what I perceived. Yeah, this is all of this compounded doesn't look good, and I usually advise everybody, never pre-order, don't buy the game at day launch, and don't buy DLC, especially this kind of DLC. It's and with that you're basically making a point of voting with the wallet, and the fact that you're voting with the wallet at a specific time. So if you don't have like in the first week a lot of sales and people are complaining about certain issues, it sends the message. And of course it's like a long-term project, let's say. It will bring to the attention of the publisher, in this case Capcom, because usually this kind of shit is done by publishers, this kind of little DLCs here and there, launching the games not very well optimized. Because if you think about it, if you have something that you want to launch, it's like writing a book. You want to be the perfect book, but if the publisher of that book says you got a deadline, you have to launch it now, and you say, okay, I just need a few more, whatever, a few months or a few weeks, so I can smooth out the rough edges on the story, on the book, and they say, no, you have to go it like this, and then you will do an edited version afterwards, don't worry. And then the book is not well reviewed. Usually they blame it always on the author, or in this case in games they always blame the developers, even though this can happen, but usually it's the publisher because they put the pressure there. They don't it's a little bit of the industry. They just want quarter to quarter earnings, and because this is a very it is a game that was very hyped up, and the people were waiting for this game to be launched for almost 12 years. They were expecting the sequel of this game. Yeah, they just put the pressure because it coincides with the quarter, and we need sales for that quarter, so this game has to sell well or else it's going to be a bust. You got all of this corporate things that happen because the game director, that basically the first one, they don't want to launch something in this bad shape, let's say, which because the game in terms of visual fidelity, the game systems and everything, it's everybody says it's amazing. There is there is a consensus there. The problem is in terms of optimization of the game, in terms of how it runs. It runs sometimes so badly that it can be determinant of the enjoyable of enjoying the game. Because if you're just playing a game that has around 30 frames FPS and it dips to single digits, because we are seeing a lot of this thing with performance issues, even with like high-end specs, with a lot of 7800 X3Ds and 4090s. They're seeing a lot of dips in performance. The game struggles along, even playing at 1080p. This because it is a very CPU bound issue. Only an excellent CPU, supposedly, theoretically, because even the high-end CPUs, they just struggle to deal with this situation. It's a matter of optimization. Yeah, and we need to send a message that this is not acceptable. Launching games in this state. And yeah, you can, and the only way to pass the message to these corporations is with your wallet, because it's the only language they usually understand. With it's money, so you vote, you give, you pass a message with money. And that's why I usually tell people never pre-order, never buy the game at launch day, even though it's something that you really want, and all the reviews are in line with your expectations. You never know at launch day. Especially recently in the last couple of years, you'll be seeing a lot of poorly optimized games there, and usually take at least a couple of months until they launch the patches and smooth out some of the more rough edges there in terms of performance, and usually it takes a lot of time for that till the game can be, if it will be ever at an acceptable performance level that can everybody can enjoy the game itself. And again, this seems to be one of the main issues of Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, that's the only mistake, let's say, that I did do to a certain extent is to pre-order the Shadow of the Earth 3. But then again, the game itself is already excellent, and given the pedigree of how From Software approaches things, I took the bullet there. I bite the bullet there. I have to wait a little bit, my own words there, of voting with my wallet, and to a certain extent I voted with my wallet and passed the message that they have my trust on launching a good DLC. But the rest of all other games, I don't even remember never buying a game at launch day. Ever. Never pre-ordered any game, even if they have like excellent like pre-order bonuses. Never pre-ordered a game, and I don't remember buying any kind of game at launch day, because I want to see how the game is. I want to check the reviews. I want on the first week to see if there is like any huge issues. Or bigger issues like performance on the game, or if something is broken. like similar like what happened with Cyberpunk. I still didn't buy the game. I will buy the game when it comes, when I feel right for me to buy it. When I start to playing it, I will buy it for sure. But probably I will wait for a deal. And that passes the message that I to the companies that I don't agree very much with the high prices, because it's not my fault. They cannot put their budgets for games in a proper order. That's why I usually advise people, if you can, just wait a little bit. Sometimes just wait a year. The games themselves, older games can be replayed. It's something that I usually do, and I'm very picky on spending my money, especially with games. But yeah, basically this is my overall message. Vote with your wallet, and to vote with your wallet, vote in a manner that makes the most impact when passing the message that you want to pass on this corporation. So yeah, basically that's my main message out there. Let's go for some gaming deals to finish up this. We got mudrunner, 80% off on Steam. Again, this is very kind of, you know the deal on mudrunner. It's an older game, but it's one of those that I probably will buy one of these days to have like a car game kind of a sorts there. But yeah, it's one of those that seems to be in line what I usually like to go about. We got also Atomic Heart. It's 55% off, but I think the premium edition, again, we got the playable DLC here. I think it's the better version. But yeah, I think it has all the like the season pass there, if not mistaken. We got also Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, so it's the first episode of Final Fantasy VII, 50% off. Again, at full price, 80 bucks, Jesus Christ. We got also Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, 33% off. And on GOG we got the Bioshock trilogy, so 75% on the first Bioshock Remastered, Bioshock 2 Remastered, 85% off, and then Bioshock Infinite Complete Edition, which has the Burial DLC, 80% off. We got Control Ultimate Edition, 75% off, which is usually the price that it's at when it comes on the deal. We got, again, I was talking about Cyberpunk 2077. This is the Ultimate Condition edition. My god, today I'm very bad at talking. So it has the Phantom Liberty thingy there. It's 33% off, so basically the full game with the DLC, full game in terms of price with the DLC included, 33% off. We got Jagged Alliance free, 50% off. This seems to be a very good price here. Play this game. Metro franchise bundle, so the first two games, the Redux version plus Metro Exodus and the DLC associated with it, $9.50. I think it's a pretty good trilogy. Already starting tweaking out to see the settings here in terms of the game. I will eventually go about this one, probably after Dead Space. I will go about Dead Space after the Mutiny Zero Road to Eden. Then we got The Invincible, very story and narrative driven, 25% off. We got also then Wastelands 2. This is the Director's Cut Digital Deluxe Edition, 75% off, and a Wasteland Free Colorado Edition, also 75% off, $12.50. It has the DLC associated with it. Yeah, basically this is it in terms of gaming deals and all that that I have for you today. I'm just going to plug in my Patreon for extra support if you're willing to do so. This extra support usually is going to be more for storage at the moment in time, for me to be able to have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channels. And with all that said, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, I'm your master out.